Hello everyone. So in this demonstration, let's look at Acheron Camunda Insurance Accelerator framework. Let me introduce myself. I'm Rajkumaran Malli and I take care of all the pre-sales activities at Acheron. And overall, I have an experience of almost 10 years now. And for people who are new to Acheron, let me also give a brief overview about Acheron, right? So we are in the space of business process modeling and case management workflows for more than 10 years now. And we have built applications spanning across different industries, including media and entertainment, insurance, life sciences, print and energy, finance, manufacturing, etc. So we specialize in the design and delivery of media related workflows, right? And we also have point solutions for media or marketing project management and different media connectors, and also frameworks for media workflows and insurance. So overall, if I want to give an in a nutshell, so we support implementation, customization, integration of various enterprise class application and migration of your application. So we overall provide 360-degree of services in these areas. So if you want to know our footprints, we have a heavy presence in the North American region and European region. We operate from India, headquartered in Hyderabad. And if you want to know more about our tech stack, so this is what it looks like. We have enterprise partners like Camunda, Chili Publish, OpenText, Algolia, AWS, and Salesforce. And if you have given us a choice to choose our tech stack, this would be our first choice of preference, which is Spring Boot, Docker, Angular, and Kubernetes. So if you want to see a single picture of all our solutions on top of Camunda, this is how it looks like. So we have our key solutions or frameworks for media workflows. We have it for our insurance, and we have connectors which is available in marketplace today for MongoDB. We have for Cloud Spanner, and we also have for Google Cloud Storage, GCS. And we also provide consulting services for Camunda and other enterprise class platforms. And now coming to our main questions, right, or main hero of today, right? So we want to talk about our insurance framework. Uh, so first of all, when we started, this is where our thought was, right? We had this specific question, I would rather say, why everyone has to reinvent the wheel and start everything from scratch when you can have something like a framework which can offer you to go kickstart your process and get into designing of your specific workflows. It could be specific for insurance or anything in general, right? Maybe a framework which can tackle all the general things like what to do about your document storage, what to do for your inbox and task management, how do you work on it, how do you provide a easy interface for your people or your team or your approvers to go and collaborate among themselves so that they can make a better educated decision, right? So why not we create a generic framework which can facilitate and support all these things? So that was the thought process what we had when we started building this framework, right? So our list was, hey, we need a powerful task list so that everyone can look what they need to work on for the day and work on it. And also we have to support pluggable forms so that any of your use cases we can satisfy, and you can bring in your own form, or you can take advantage of the existing form by just adding extra fields or whatever it could be. And how you can easily handle dynamic workflows, right? Maybe your workflow is different from what others follow. It's not standard, right? It need not be. So how easy is to go and customize your workflow and plug into this framework, right? And today the world is going into a way where we have to support both the physical files and also the digital files, right? Still we haven't completely come out of the physical documentation. How we are going to support that, how we are going to help the insurance team uh, to claim adjusters, supervisors, all the reviewers and approvers to collaborate and communicate between themselves so that they can make a better educated decision on the claim, right? On the claim management. And last but not least, we also wanted to have a pluggable content management module so that you can bring in over your content management system. If it, as long as it supports CMIS standard, we would be able to plug in into your content management platform so that we can manage all the claim related documents and so on. Right? So these were the list what we had when we started this framework, and we did that, right? So for example, let's take in the world of inbox, right? So we wanted to have a modern responsive UI so that you work on your tablet or a desktop or mobile device, you should be able to know what you need to work on that day, or search for it using keyword or advanced search, or put facet filters to narrow down your items so that you can go and work on it. Also importantly, by default, Camunda task list UI, if you have familiar in that area, you know that it does not support custom variables, right? Task variables or process variables. But those are important for us to go and identify, hey, what is this claim all about? Is it a motor insurance claim, or it's a health insurance, or what it is? We wanted to categorize them. We wanted to know what it is even before going into a specific record and seeing them, right? So we want to see all these information as part of the inbox so that we know what we are looking at and whom needs to be working on it and so on, right? So what we have done is, with this framework, you would be able to pull in all this various information from different location, like task variables, process variables, and your task data, and you would be able to see everything in your inbox so that you know what you are going to look at. So this is all about your inbox, right, or your task list. Then comes your document management, which is very critical for your claims management. As long as you have a content management system which supports the CMIS standard, we would be able to plug in into it, right? So the framework can support the process of uploading, tagging, metadata, search. Also, you want to search inside the document. All those capabilities, we would be able to do it all within the framework or the user interface of the framework, as long as the content management system what you are using supports the CMIS standard. Now next, dynamic routing. So I did touch upon on your need for dynamic routing, handling, workflows, customizable, pluggable workflows, and so on, right? See, whenever you are dealing with a case, it is hard for us to go and say, hey, this is the standard path it needs to go. Yes, 95% of the time it happens, right? It could be a simple straight through process, or it could go via a complex routing to different managers for them to review it, or it could be an escalation which you need to handle it. But there are certain scenarios where you need to go to legal department, right, which is not defined on your workflow, to get an opinion on your policy information so that you can make a decision saying that whether this claim is valid or not, so on. There could be multiple scenarios like that, right? So how do you handle this ad hoc task, right, which comes into the picture, which is not designed in the design time? How do you handle it? So our framework can handle that. So we have built in all this capability to handle these kinds of dynamic routings and dynamic tasks based on the requirements, right? And next, you can bring in your own forms. If you have already having your workflows defined and running up, you don't have to change on it. You can still plug it into our Camunda insurance framework and point it to your Camunda workflow engine, and everything can work seamlessly, right? So that's how easy you can bring into your in your forms, which we can plug it into your workflow or into the insurance framework, right? And last but not least, we have already talked about it, collaboration. We do provide you the components required to add collaboration module along with your forms so that you can collaborate with your peers. Last, we were also talking about the phygital experience, right? Yes, we understand that we haven't completely come out of the world of digital, right? Your bills, even some of the people who are not familiar with digital forms like computer forms and other things, they would probably still do it in a pen and paper, right? They will fill out the forms, claim details, and so on, and they would email to you, or they would maybe ship it to you via post or anything, right? Probably uh, today you might be spending resources and their valuable time on moving all this information from paper to your digital systems, right? What if we have a mechanism with the help of AI and cloud services? You would be able to extract all the information provided in the form and dynamically map it to your digital form and kickstart your insurance claim process, right? So that's the digital experience what we have designed for. Now, rather than speaking about all these things on a presentation, let's jump directly onto the demo and see how it works in the live system, right? So let's get started from the demo. So let's take a simple scenario, right? So let's say that we had a minor accident with our car and we wanted to submit the claim for reinvestment. Now what I have done is I have logged in here as John, you can see at the top, and here as soon as I log in as a claimant, I would be able to see various policies that I have. So if we go into medical health policy section, I see that I own a policy there, and I also have a life insurance policy. And for motor insurance, there are a couple of policy, one for bike and one for car. So we have to go in and submit a claim, and I'm going to select the car insurance policy, what is listed here, and I'm going to log a claim under this policy, right? So let's go and do it. So let me say log a claim. And as soon as I do that, it's going to ask me various questions, right? Hey, we are sorry to hear about that, what happened. Can you please describe what is going on, right? So I'm going to fill in, hey, we have met with a small accident, right? And I'm going to select that. And as soon as I answer that, it's going to ask a follow-up question saying that when it happened, did you collide with other vehicles, right? So I'm going to answer all these questions what the system is going to ask, right? And this is all configurable, so we can configure all the questions according to our needs, right? So this is specific for accident under vehicle insurance. You can even configure across various different type of policies, categories, and so on. So let me answer all these questions now and say that I'm done. I'm going to click on next at the bottom and move on to the next section. Now this is gonna give me a kind of an summary saying that, hey, this is all what you have selected. Do you confirm? Yes. And now it's gonna ask us more details about my information like bank details, my social security number, and other IDs, right? So all the informations which are available in the policies like personal details, it's already populated. Other things which are not available, we are gonna fill it up now. So let's do that quickly and move on to our next section. So I'm gonna fill up my email. I'm going to provide the place of accident, and if you come to the bottom section here, so it's also asking us to upload the supporting documents. So I'm going to go and upload all the supporting documents here, right? So for example, I have my title documents, license, the damage photos, all those things, right? So I'm going to attach all these things. Select them for upload. So it's going to show me all these documents are available, and I'm going to say upload, right? So in this demonstration, we have configured with Alfresco, which is our content management server, and our component is able to communicate in it, and it is able to automatically upload all those documents inside Alfresco, right? So you can also bring in other CMIS supported content management platform, so that you would be able to take care of all these process with your content management system. So I can also preview all the documents what I have attached, right? My title document, my photos, and so on. Everything looks good, right? And I can also update saying that, hey, this is my uh, documents related to damages, this is related to contracts, whatever it could be, right? So I'm gonna fill in all those data, right? So it looks good, and let me tag this also, right? So I'm gonna accept all my terms and conditions, and I'm gonna submit it here, right? So our claim has been successfully submitted, and we got a claim number, and the same would have been delivered as an email to us for our further references. Now what happens is, behind the process, a workflow would have kick-started, so that we can the claim adjusters can work on the claim from it, right? So let's see how it looks for the claim adjusters, right? So here Chris is our claim adjuster, and we see that as soon as you log in, on it shows all the dashboard all the claims that we need to work on it, right? Your actionable items or your list of actions that you need to perform, and also a quick chart saying that how many has been completed so far today, how many pending, and so on, right? I can also go on to my inbox to go and filter or narrow down into my specific task what I'm looking for, right? So what you see here is the one what we just submitted, 501D, and you can see all the other informations like policy number, cost coming as part of my task inbox itself. So when I click on it, I'm able to see all the details what we just submitted, right? And I can see the documents under the document sections, right? And I can also do a search if required. You can see all those documents, right? So for example, let me take this particular document, right? So it's a PDF document. I can see all the text here, right? So let's say I want to search with a specific term, right? Let me copy this finance, which is from the document. It's nowhere tied to any other metadata, and if I search for it, still the system is able to find out that particular document and return it to us. So it can search inside the documents too, if your content management system supports that, right? And so now what we will do is, let's go in and we can also tag them or provide the status of it if we are satisfied with the document. So let me provide that status for these documents. I'm gonna say this, it's good. I'm gonna take it as final, right? I'm also gonna mark this as final. All these documents good, and let me keep this as right. So let me say this as final too, and let's complete it. And let's go on to this comment section, right? And if you see on this collaboration module, I would be able to communicate within my peers, right? So that's all comes under internal comments. Whatever you chat, you communicate will be within your enterprise alone, right? It's not gonna be visible for any of your claimants and external peoples, right? So that's what internal comment is all about. And you also have external comments. When you go into that, you would be able to communicate with your claimant and other external vendors, which can be visible for both the parties, right? Both the internal team and the external team. So now I'm gonna say a comment to my internal team, hey, can you please look into so and so or something, right? I'm gonna provide a comment to my particular peer, right, and ask them to look into that, right? And this time I'm gonna send it to supervisor. So I'm gonna put this particular comment so that supervisor understands what it is, right? And it says when it was posted and so on. Now let's go back to our task here, right? And let's make a decision what needs to be done here, right? So I'm gonna say I wanna send it to supervisor, providing me better understanding of what happens, right? if I wanted to do, I can also do an escalate to manager, or I can even say I wanted to send to a custom user or a role, where as part of our presentation, I did talk about, hey, if you have a maybe a edge case, how do you route it to a specific team member to get their opinion on it, right? So all those things you would be able to do it. Like for instance, I want to send it to legal, get their opinion. I can pick that particular group and even route it to a specific user whom needs to the task needs to go, right? All these I can do it. So as of now, I'm going to send it to supervisor to look into the damages and review it and get back to it, right? So I'm also going to give a reason why I'm sending it to supervisor and so on, and I can post it. And similarly, once done, I would be able to make a decision on it, right? So now I have sent it to my supervisor. It's out of my bucket. It's not under my actionables anymore, and it's going to go into my supervisor bucket. So now let's go into our supervisor bucket, right? So now what I wanted to quickly show is, if you go into Laila Scott, who's our supervisor, you can see that this is already sitting into my supervisor, right? If you note that I just said that I wanted to send it to supervisor and not Laila, right? How come the system did it, right? So that's where our smart routing task segmentation comes up, right? You can call it anyway, right? So we say that if any of your accidents happens in the area of New York, it needs to go to the supervisor Laila, right? So that's the configuration what we have made. You can do a configuration based on any of your attributes in your form, and you can say that where it needs to go, whom it needs to do, right? So by segmenting, you can reduce the average claim processing time, right? It's not going to go for someone who's not available in office or out of office. All these things it would be able to do it smartly. Now that's why it came to Laila. So let's go into Laila and open that. So I can see all these information. I can look at the documents, and based on all these information, I can also go on to the location in New York where the accident has happened, or where the damaged vehicle is there. I can inspect them. I can look into it. I can do all those things, right? So I'm gonna reply to Chris saying that, hey, we'll do whatever it is, right? So I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna type, have completed my investigation and everything looks good, right? So I'm gonna put that, and I'll go back to my overview, right? And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna send back to my claim adjuster, right? I'm gonna select that option here, right? I'm gonna say send. The investigation done is what I'm gonna say. Done, right? So now the task has been sent back to the claim adjuster, right? So now let's go back as Chris, and we should be having the particular claim for us to go and process it. So let's log in as Chris. So let me say login. Now it should show under our actionable items, right? So here it is. So let's go and work on it, right? So I can give a amount which I wanted to approve, right? I can say this is what I'm gonna approve and send it back. So now John should get back a notification saying that, hey, your claim has been approved for the amount so and so, and I should be able to see the specific claim status being approved here, right? So this is kind of a straight through simple process with no complications, but the system is capable enough to support any of your dynamic routing, any of your requirements, and so on. Also, the system supports reports, right? So if you go in as an admin or an claim adjuster, you can also see all the reports here. So if you can see, hey, where is the bottleneck, right? So if you can see that the orange, reddish orange area says that, hey, there are a lot of maybe time spent on the claim adjuster. Maybe he or she is overloaded. We have to bring in more claim adjuster. Maybe we have to look what optimization can be in that area, right? And we can also see other information like how many claims has been processed today, closed today, any incidents happened so far as part of your workflows where people are not available, uh, something happened, everything you would be able to do it. Maybe this is a it's a sample report what we have configured, but you have all the information which you can take advantage of and build your own custom reports if in required. So that's a quick overview about the framework. Uh, so before I close my demo, I would like to quickly walk you through the benefits and the advantages of the insurance framework what we have built, right? So with our framework, you would be able to implement and deploy your processes at record speed. So we have the entire library of components which you can take advantages of and you can implement your processes. You would be also able to save your capex because you are not reinventing the entire wheel, right? You can take advantages of all the components which is available. Next, you can also save on your operating cost because this would bring down your average claim processing time because it has a lot of efficient processes for you to go and collaborate with people, having an one central repository for your documents. You can understand where bottlenecks are happening. You can tweak your processes then and there, and overall it can bring down your average claim processing time, right? And the processes are not fixed, it's all tweakable, and you can bring in your own process if required, or you can customize your the existing processes too. Next, it also has a modern configurable task list which provides all the context in which the task is delivered to you so that you don't have to spend time looking at the form and understand what it is. Everything is available at your inbox itself. We also provide you a easy way to plug in your own forms or extend the existing forms and take advantage of that. The system completely supports phygital so that even if you are dealing with uh, both physical documents and digital documents, the framework can support and the processes can work with that same. Last, for document management, you are no longer restricted saying that you have to use this specific content server or that. As long as it supports CMIS standard, you should be able to take advantage of our library to implement that same. So if you have any questions, or if you wanted to know about it, or if you wanted to have a one-on-one demonstration on this particular framework, please feel free to reach out to us and we would be able to help you. Thank you.